Hey, what's up, guys? Good night, good night. Welcome to Caribbean Culture and Lifestyle. What's going on, guys? What's going on? I'm back with another show tonight. Usually we go live Friday, and sometimes we go live on Saturday. That depends. But this channel, this live is about Caribbean culture and lifestyle. This is where we talk about what's going on in the island. We're trying to highlight different islands, small islands that no one talk about or even heard about. So tonight, what we're gonna talk about, I'm gonna play a clip. All right, then I'm gonna say a little. I cannot say too much because I'm learning about it, but I just want to highlight what is actually going on with Guyana and Venezuela. As we know, Guyana is very rich in resources, in minerals, and these type of stuff. And you don't know. Once you talk about oil, you know what's going on. So I'm gonna play a clip and let's have a little more understanding of what's actually going on. All right. So stay tuned, guys.
When oil was discovered.
All right, guys. I'm gonna start over. All right. Let's start over. I'm going to play a video that's going to give us a more understanding of what's going on between Guyana and Venezuela. All right?
Now let's turn our attention to South America, where an oil war is bubbling between two hostile neighbors, Venezuela and Guyana. Tensions are on the rise, mostly thanks to this man, Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela. He wants to take over a part of Guyana, in fact, two-thirds of the country. I'll repeat that for you. Maduro wants control over two-thirds of his country's neighbor. And we get that it is Christmas season, but this is a very big ask. Obviously, Guyana does not agree. And now Brazil has deployed troops along the border, so things are heating up here. To understand the story, we must know a bit of their history. Let me show you a map. This is Esquibo, the territory in question. This is what Maduro wants.
Guys, this is real serious thing going on, man. I don't know. I don't know, man, but this is really serious thing going on. And it seems like this gonna go pretty far. I'm hoping that they could get to an understanding and settle this thing. I'm hoping that it's not gonna turn out into these situation where people losing their, you know what I'm saying. So let's listen to what the lady is saying.
In size, it is larger than Greece. In substance, It is deeply important. For over a century, Essequibo has been part of Guyana, but Venezuela has long disputed this. They say Essequibo was stolen from them. Their border was drawn more than a century ago, and Essequibo was wrongly given to Guyana. Guess who drew this disputed border? Who else but the British? It's their unique gift to the world, contentious borders that lead to wars. So, when
So what she's saying, she's actually saying they mark out the area and the British give it to Guyana. Now Venezuela trying to claiming that they should get a portion of it. Now it's turned into serious problem. Let's move on.
Venezuela has been upset for decades, and they've sought control of Essequibo. But in 2015, their effort became more urgent. That's when oil was discovered off the coast of Essequibo. So now this region is not just contentious, it is also oil rich. And Venezuela wants it even more. And Guyana won't let go. Their wealth is mostly based.
Well, once you talk about oil, you don't know how you know what's gonna happen. Venezuela believe it's theirs and they have they're supposed to own a part of it, and Guyana is saying no. So now I'm sure they're gonna have to. There's gonna be people moving in. This going I hope this ain't turn out to nothing serious. I hope it just come to settle and common ground. Man, this when you talk about oil, it's serious stuff.
On oil production and exports. Oil has made Guyana one of the fastest growing economies in the world. Do you know what their GDP growth was last year? 62%. 62% GDP growth in 1 year, the highest in the world. So Guyana is doing really well. Its neighbor, on the other hand, is struggling. That's Venezuela. Now,
Mm.
interestingly, Venezuela is also oil rich. It is home to the world's largest oil reserves, in fact. But over time, oil production has seen a drastic decline there thanks to American sanctions and mismanagement. Now, hyperinflation is rampant and the country is in the middle of an economic crisis. It desperately needs a magic potion. And it's hoping that that potion is Guyana's oil. So last
Mm.
weekend, Venezuela held a referendum to claim rights over Essequibo. People were asked to vote, but they did not show up. The voter turnout was only 10%. And what was the verdict? 95% of them approved the referendum. They said Venezuela should take over this part of Guyana, two-thirds of Guyana. And Maduro is wasting no time. He has ordered the state oil company to look for oil in Essequibo. He's told energy companies there to leave within 3 months. He plans to pass a bill to make the area part of his country and to grant Venezuelan citizenship to the people there. All of this has unsettled Guyana.
This is a direct threat to Guyana's territorial integrity, sovereignty, and political independence. Guyana views this as an imminent threat to its territorial integrity and will intensify precautionary measures to safeguard its territory.
Guyana is on the edge. Its defense forces are on alert. It has asked the United Nations Security Council to intervene. Meanwhile, Brazil has deployed troops on its border with Guyana and Venezuela. And where there is a problem, there is America. The US has issued stern comments.
We would urge Venezuela and Guyana to continue to seek a peaceful resolution of their dispute. This is not something that will be settled by a referendum.
Reports say the US is backing Guyana. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has expressed support both verbally and militarily. America has announced air exercises with Guyana. Meanwhile, Venezuela is moving fast. So, is this the making of another war? At this point, it seems unlikely. Venezuela is in no position to fight a war. Maduro's actions are still largely symbolic, less about oil and more about politics. Under Maduro's rule, Venezuela has continued its steady descent into economic collapse and political chaos. They're also heading into a presidential election next year. So Maduro needs a distraction, and Esquibo is just that, a distraction. Only time will tell if playing troublemaker pays off for him.
Well, I don't know, guys, but as we see in the article, in the broadcast there, we learning that Guyana, we learning that Venezuela want to move into Guyana because Venezuela feel like they deserve to own a portion of that oil. Because according to the broadcast that was now playing, the lady is actually saying that the British is who mark out the land. The British, you know, the British was ruling in them times. So basically, the British is who mark out the land. So now, Venezuela, I don't know, guys. I'm just quoting. I can't speak too much on it. I'm just broadcasting it that you guys could hear, and maybe we could talk about it. Maybe we could have a, from time to time. But I'm gonna keep up with this. I'm gonna keep up with this, and we're gonna just continue talk about it until it's settled. But I'm just hoping that everything settled and no one have to lose their, you know what I'm saying, because I hope it didn't turn out into where, the fighting, we don't want that. We're more looking for a peaceful resolution. So yes, guys, thank you guys for this, man. Thank you guys for coming through. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to join us every Friday night, sometime at Thursday night. All right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you all.